ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Elmore deep, left side three, it's good! From 30 feet, John Elmore!
The Drive with Paul Swann.
Coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. It's our Monday edition. Welcome in. We're getting closer to football season. You know why? Because Dave Walsh is hanging out with me everywhere I go. I go to an event in Ashland last week. Dave Walsh is there. I'm here at the Union Pub and Grill. Dave Walsh is here. That must mean football season is here. It's almost here.
It is. I mean, publications, bowl picks. I mean, they've already got Marshall everywhere, and right there behind, like almost if Boise State messes up, giving them the wannabe bowl bids. So, I mean, it's amazing the optimism out there compared to this time last year when we were going like, we don't know what's going to happen. We do now.
You were at basketball practice today as well. There's basketball practice, exactly. 10 a.m.
And school's not even in session, but they're getting ready to go to the Bahamas in August, and Danny's out there. And I told you before we went on the air here, Jansen Williams, I saw him take a ton of threes. I think he missed one. And I thought the last part of the season he was a very good player for them. And some of the newcomers are very impressive as well. I can't remember all their names, but Iran Bennett was one of them. He's down under 350, I understand now. So they're trying to get him lower, and I think he will give them something that you and I talked about a lot. It's not necessarily points in the paint, a presence in the paint.
They had a pretty good presence in the paint.
He did some nice pick and rolls today with Elmore.
Yeah.
The rim, I think, still shaking.
They had a pretty good presence in the paint with the team they had last year.
Are you on that trip? Rick's told me he's not going, so I thought maybe he gave a seat for you.
No, Mr. Kurtner has not authorized the expense report just yet on that. I budgeted that. I turned it in. I didn't get the okay from management on that for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, it's pretty neat when you think about it. Bahamas basketball, August. Boy, times have changed. Football people never go home now, it seems like. They're up there working, the quarterback in town. So it's a big buzz up there. I mean, I saw some good things today in basketball, and good things I think are going to happen in football.
Break down basketball a little bit. Give me some detail, because a lot of fans don't know what's going on with the new additions in the roster and what this team looks like. You got Penova gone, so are they missing Penova? Do you see any?
There were some big guys there today. Actually, two of the ones that really made a nice little impression were the two walk-ons from St. Joe, Andre Murphy and Mr. Thomas from over at Fairland. They're out there. Little lefty can shoot it. Darius George hasn't gotten any bigger, it looked like, but he can sky. Elmore. C.J. Burks is just as built, as you know.
Bigger?
And more so.
I like you're trying to do the hand maneuvers.
North and south, not as I have gone east and west.
He's gotten taller.
No, but he is very strong. He looks very strong. Elmore is just John. He shot one right before they finished from, had to be 40-some feet and do nothing but net. And he says, see, I can do it. I mean, they still talk about the one he made against Wichita. I don't know where he shot it from, but it was way downtown. So
he shot it from Chesapeake is where he shot it from.
Yeah. So, I thought they had some size, and I liked the way, and it's only August, but not even August yet. They run. The speed factor I think is going to be in the outcome this year. They're going to get up and down the floor. Danny was actually working on defense some today.
What?
Believe it or not. Defense.
There's a D in D'Antoni?
A little bit of D, but also the pick and roll. And then I heard him tell somebody one time, you got to get out and guard this guy, because after the layup, the second best shot in basketball is the three-pointer. As we all know, he documented many, many times last year. So they were working on that.
Thundering Herd, I think very fortunate to get this opportunity going to Sun and Fun. That's not fair. Why?
We're stuck here and they're down Sun and Fun.
That's totally not fair.
And maybe Rick got shot down, and I know you probably tried, but you were not holding out hope.
I didn't even try. You know why? I knew the answer already. It wasn't even a waste of time.
Right. But it's something to talk about.
It definitely is. It's a great trip.
And it's great sitting here across from you. I mean, you mentioned over in Ashland last week. That was an awesome experience.
It's crazy, wasn't
it? I really enjoyed those guys. impressive.
We jam-packed a restaurant. Blazers.
Last late notice and everything, wasn't it?
No, we knew that for a few weeks. That was that wasn't just like, hey, spur of the moment.
Yeah.
We planned that out, but we jam-packed Blazers restaurant and bakery.
I saw you had the prime parking place when I pulled in. I said, "There's Swann's car."
I got there early. I knew better. There were people already lined up to catch the show from Kentucky Sports Radio. Matt Jones, who has built a media empire.
He really has.
He has blanketed the entire state of Kentucky.
He was all over the state last week, right? He left and went around and around. Well, I think the next day he was going to play golf.
Yeah.
In the Pro-Am. And then around the state, the eastern part, the western part. And one thing I really picked up from that, sort of like us in a town up north here in West Virginia, the L word comes up, there's no love lost. Lexington and Louisville. There's no love lost between them. They don't like each other.
It's fun, though. It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun when they acknowledge each other and then they don't like each other.
It's fun.
Instead of the indifferent attitude that some have.
Yeah, remember they're talking about, but the president's salary just left was like, what, $4 million
right.
or something? They're going like, what did we do wrong?
I don't think you did anything wrong.
And then, things they won't shut up, the Patino thing and the other situations. So it's crazy down there in Louisville right now.
Yeah, Louisville's making it easy to make fun of. Of course, we're going to focus more on Marshall. Definitely basketball looks like it's in shape. We got some good news for football. We're going to talk about that. We're here today also at the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. I got to remind everyone, the Monday special, it's $1.50 bottles, $2 call shots. You know that by heart right now, Dave, don't you?
You just hit a tape recorder, I think, right? Just play the tape.
Well, it's simple. $1.50 bottles, $2 call shots. That's all you need to know.
A little bit later we can talk about come down for Monday Night Football, but right now, no.
It's the best service in town.
Oh, it is.
You got to meet Taylor, who's taken over for us. She handles everything I need.
Famous. Hey, should be. Give her
I'm
time.
trying to get Taylor on the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to start just talking about her instead of getting her on the show, because maybe one day she'll want to walk over here and actually either speak for herself, or I'm going to say something to the point where she's got to come over to defend herself. I don't know what strategy I'm going yet, but
you'll work on it.
She takes good care of me every time I come down here, so I got to be careful because I don't want to come in for her. But she will take good care of you if you come down on the Monday special. It's $1.50 bottles and $2 call shots. Okay, we're going to take our first break, come back. A couple of more names added to award watch list today. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. We'll talk about the West Virginia Wildcats. Did not fare well against Scarlet and Gray in the basketball tournament. We'll talk about that. And we'll get your phone calls in as well. It is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Now, back to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back, Paul Swann, your host. It is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 at the Union Pub and Grill today, 1125 4th Avenue, our Monday special. The $1.50 bottle or the $2 call shots all day, all night. We got the best service in town. Taylor's taking good care of everyone. Of course, you know it's football season because I'm starting to build my entourage back.
Yes.
I don't have an off-season entourage. I have an entourage for football season, sort of for basketball season. Dave Walsh is with us, of course. He is here hanging out today.
Once the basketball's over, you kind of like on your own.
You were just jonesing to come and talk football today in sports.
That too, yeah.
You were jonesing a little bit.
Things to do. But,
yeah, you're in the area.
And hey,
at least you didn't bring Ted Wilson with you. I would have got I wouldn't have our opportunity.
He would have left outside. He cannot get in.
Ted can't get in?
No, you wouldn't have let him in. No,
no.
He's helped. We were doing some tournament work today. Let's go with that. So
that's coming up here soon.
We got it done. Yeah, September 21. It was great, but I like the name of the show, The Drive. I heard that and I said, But at this time of day, it makes great sense.
You haven't been on since we changed the name, have you?
Well, I got banned.
Oh, no,
I just
you didn't get banned. You got seasoned out.
Seasoned out. It's almost back. And you mentioned, how's it nowadays? 2 more on award list, watch list. That's what 4 or 5 guys now. I mean,
we got
what
a couple
difference a year makes.
We got a couple more already. The awards are coming in, at least the preseason nominations. Right. And the good news is Malik Gant, Marshall safety, named to the Jim Thorpe Award watch list today, and Juwan Young named to the Butkus Award watch list today. So more people are talking about the Thundering Herd, and Gamp. I think he's a serious contender because this goes to college football's best defensive back. Now, is he going to win it? I don't know. but he's definitely going to be a real threat for it. And also, the Butkus Award honors linebackers, and I think if anybody deserves a legitimate shot at that, is Juwan Young. Right. Those guys are definitely going to help anchor this Thunder and Herd football team.
And they're going to play against some people this year. They're, you can't go, well, they're not playing against anybody. They're going to be playing, starting week 1, Miami, now Eastern, and then here comes NC State, FAU. He'll get tested quite a bit, and if he holds up, you got to consider it. I mean, he's only doing his job. He's paid to stop people, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, you definitely want to see these guys get tested this year. And, of course, I don't know how good Miami's going to be right off the bat. And Eastern Kentucky, those are going to be sort of tune-in games or tune-up games. But South Carolina, NC State, the difficulty ramps up right after Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, I noticed on the Herd Zone today that the lower part of the tickets for the South Carolina thing, I think, are sold out. Upper ones are still available for that one. So there'll be a lot of people going down to Columbia. And there's people picking them to win the East in the SEC. So, Georgia might have something to say about that. But, here's a Marshall opponent picked to win the Eastern Division and what they consider one of the toughest, if not the toughest conference in the country.
If Marshall gives them a game, that is going to definitely carry over. And then they've got, of course, NC State coming in on the 22nd of September. A 7 o'clock game. Fans love that.
Finley, who's getting a lot of ink right now. Very good quarterback. So the secondary and Mr. Johnson will get tested quite a bit that night.
What do you think about where Marshall ended up in the East Division, the predicted order finish? Florida Atlantic got 22 first-place votes. Now, this is select members of the media. Not everybody gets the vote. Right. But 22 voted for Florida, the first Florida Atlantic, and then Marshall got 4 first place, and that put them in second. Middle Tennessee came in third, FIU fourth, Western Kentucky fifth, Old Dominion was sixth, and Charlotte, poor Charlotte, seventh. I feel for those guys.
I know.
I like Brad Lambert. I really want him to do well.
Yeah.
Not beat Marshall well, but I want him to do well.
I remember the last time he came here, he won. That's when I had my 1 week stupor of walking around the newsroom going, we lost to Charlotte. I mean, that's all I could say.
Yeah, your draws were kind of on the floor.
It was not good, but I think they've taken steps to correct that.
Yeah.
But Marshall second, I could see it because the old adage, they're champions until somebody beats them. And homecoming weekend could be the first opportunity that happens because I'm not sure they're losing any league games up until that point. Non-league games, they got to play Oklahoma and a couple of people, but league-wise, they'll be undefeated when they get here, and the house should be rocking that day. And hard to believe the last team to beat FAU, Buffalo. That's their last loss, Buffalo.
Got things turned around after that.
Well, Mr. Singletary was pretty much hand it to him and get out of the way, and you saw what happened.
I don't like this. I don't like the schedule the way it's stacked. I just don't, because Marshall's got to take on in the bottom half of the schedule Southern Miss, which is a good game. I always want to see Marshall play Southern Miss.
They'll be playing them forevermore, probably.
They
on
need
the
to
other side because that's the marquee game, Marshall Southern Miss.
They need to play each other.
Right.
Charlotte is going to be maybe a inconsequential game of sorts. UTSA, I like UTSA though.
They owed them after last year.
Yeah, and then FIU. It's at FIU on the 24th of November. But you start out with Western Kentucky on the road. That's pretty much your biggest Conference USA rival.
Right, and
then you got Middle Tennessee, probably your second biggest Conference USA rival at the moment in football. Old Dominion, okay, I don't know where to put them just yet as far as the rivalry aspect. But then Florida Atlantic has become everybody's go-to team to go after. Southern Miss makes perfect sense as a game that needs to be on Marshall's schedule every year. And then Charlotte, UTSA. UTSA has some potential, though. Yeah. Those guys, that's a good team. I really thought
we had a first-round draft pick off that team last year.
Yeah, I really thought that them getting picked fifth in the West Division, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, look at the West, though. North Texas, Louisiana Tech, UAB, then Southern Miss.
Right.
And UTSA. And you look at that and you think, well, how do you argue with that at the same time? Well, don't sleep on UTSA. Do not.
No, don't sleep on them. But you can't really complain because the other four, La Tech, Southern Miss, we know how they are. 8 wins, I think, last year. North Texas, all I hear is that quarterback. Their quarterback, I think Mason Fine or whatever. That's all you hear talk about there. Although their last 2 games against FAU did not go very well.
I'd almost be tempted to put Tech below UAB. I'll get North Texas, maybe UAB.
Yeah. And then UAB, reading some stuff, had a lot of people back And they came out of nowhere last year. Remember, they were ready to give up football, then they come back and get 8 wins, go to a bowl, and this guy was elected mayor or governor of Alabama, I believe. I know that would never happen over Saban. Probably elected mayor of Birmingham. Saban's not going to be outvoted by anything.
No, but still, Birmingham, sure. Yeah, definitely.
And I think they have a new facility coming along pretty well. I think their on-campus place is close.
And that's great for them.
Yeah.
And the problem there is, though, they kind of overestimated what kind of revenue is going to be coming in. They made some cuts recently.
Did you? I know. The one gentleman was hired as like SID.
Yeah, and got
basketball.
Got
left
nuked.
the job, came and boom. I mean, whoa. I mean, a lot of an AD, assistant AD, and softball coach, whatever, got the walking papers.
And she was popular. I don't know
They loved her.
I don't know how popular she was, but imagine you put Shonda Stanton, who was one of the most beloved coaches here at Marshall, in that position, and then eliminate her position.
Say bye.
Not she moved on and she got a different job, which was maybe a better position for her and her family. That you just said, hey, thanks, we can't afford you anymore.
Can't afford you anymore.
How much turmoil would that have
That would
caused?
have been a lot of an uproar. I don't know how much. I have not read or how much uproar that caused down in Alabama.
I'm sure there are a lot of people.
But there was a lot of people, think, wait a minute. We brought football back, and this is our reward, getting rid of all this. And the AD's going like, dude, we got bills to pay, and we're not selling 80,000 football tickets a game to cover bills. So it is what it is.
You got to sell those tickets. Tickets are important. That's why I'm pushing for this new surge of lower concessions. I'm pushing for that to happen more. I want to see that happen in Marshall. I don't know the financials over there, so I'm just wanting something.
A season ticket. $99, as low as $99. That's not bad.
No, it's not terrible.
The mini plan, $99, and you can pick, and you can. It's not like, well, you get a mini plan, but you can't pick NC State.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't pick FAU. You can.
And that's good.
I mean,
you get
you
three.
got to do something like
Yeah.
you said all last year. You got to get them in the house.
And I think lower concession prices. I think more people will either spend more at the concession stand, or you might attract a few more people that think, okay, if I go to the football game, I've got to bring the family. We're going to be pretty miserable there. Maybe we'll be better off to not go as many games.
And watch it on TV.
Yeah, watch it on TV. By the way, if you you're going to have to pay $5 or $6 to watch it on TV anyway.
But when you go up to the beer counter or and you see beer like $6, $7.
Yeah.
No, I'm
good.
I'm not that thirsty all of a sudden.
I'm good, but the ESPN Plus will carry the first 2 herd games. Of course, the first game's going to be the road game, so if you want to watch that, I'm going to have to drop down a few extra bucks to get the ESPN Plus. The second game on ESPN Plus will be the Marshall Eastern Kentucky game. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the Charlotte game, that's a home game, so that's going to be on ESPN Plus. Doesn't hurt the home fans as much. I know a lot of people will probably come to places here like the Union Pub and Grill, watch that first game because Herbie will have the game.
Oh, they'll have it.
And that's going to be a boon for a lot of people because there's going to be a lot of fans who just like, I'm not going to drop the $5, but I'll come spend $25, $30 in ribs and wings.
And that'll be the curiosity those first 2 games because Brady, the award winners, nominations and stuff. But the question mark this year is at quarterback.
Is it really a question mark?
I don't think it's a question mark, but he hasn't taken a snap yet here. I mean, if he doesn't emerge number 1, I'll be shocked. But he has yet to take a snap. I think they're going to be fine in talking to Ramsey and some other people. But as Doc said the other day, potential is one thing, production is something else, and we got to have production. Potential doesn't win games, production does. I think he'll be fine, though. I really do.
That's a Doc Holliday quote I want to put on a motivational poster.
Locker rooms and everything
I'm
else.
serious.
I know.
That was a good quote from
I read
him.
that and I said, well, it makes sense.
That's a really good. That's one of those you can pull that out 20 years from now.
That's right. Well, Dave's got great potential. Well, you said that how many times? How much production have you got? Not so much. So.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit. Doc will sometimes just drop something. You're like, I'm going to put that on a poster. I'm going to steal that from him, put it on a poster.
I wonder how much room was in Dallas because, Conference USA there, and I think the Big 12's media days were in Dallas at the same time. So how do you coexist down there?
Well, I'm thinking they're maybe hoping that they'll get a little spillover. They got one reporter embedded for the Big 12, and maybe they'll throw a little bone to Conference USA.
Yeah, well, I mean, Marshall's picked to finish runner-up in their division, and the Mountaineers are picked to finish runner-up in their league.
I'd be almost tempted to hold my Conference USA media days in Bristol, Connecticut.
There you go.
Just hold it in Bristol. Make it easy for everyone at ESPN to get to you.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
They do that, and you think we're over here, and you look, there's Dallas, and I'm going like, how many people are really going to go?
No. How many people are going to in many of these? You have to, right now, be a major conference with publications that have money to spend to make these trips. I mean, what was it? Which New York paper got hit today? Was it the
Post?
The Post. The Post lost.
No, it was the Post or Daily News. One of those.
Yeah, I think it's the Daily
Which
News.
one's a tabloid? Daily News?
I think the Daily News.
They got their staff like cut in half.
And a lot of that came from sports.
Yeah. Well, two of the big wheels, like the CEO and somebody else, were like, "There's the door." You know, and then and they mentioned another story right above that one was nationwide.
Yeah.
And I know this, the newspapers in general are just taking hits right and left, not only in the print side, the digital side.
You know, I'll say this: at least when I was with another media company and they introduced me to the wonderful world of the home version.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't perp walk me. I didn't get perp walked the way I think the staff of the New York Daily News got perp walked.
No,
like, hey, there's the door. Thanks.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it just makes you wonder sometimes. But that, you know, it is what it is. 2018.
You're a newspaper guy. Why can't newspapers translate their greatest strength into this new digital age? Why can't they?
I don't know. We were late. I know this. We were latecomers to the digital game, the internet and things of that nature. We're playing catch up and stuff. But even the digital side, the Daily News and some other papers are not doing what they thought they would do, because I guess there are so many places to find. I mean, even though we're digital, you know, say for example, we didn't have a print, but you go there and call up the Herald Dispatch and read it. There might be like 10 other places somebody can go to quicker to find out what they want to find out.
Right.
So, you know, you're up. It's competition, and you've got to give them something. And just like I used to say with the hockey team when they were here, and if they get baseball and stuff, you got to give them a reason to go there. What can you know? Your radio station, Mike and him do a great job. They give them so many reasons to go there.
Right.
And that's all. You give us a try is all we're asking. And then when they do it, things are working out pretty good. I mean, you're here. I'm on my verge of being back. So hey, I mean, Mike knows what the playing level feels like, and he's working. He knows how to handle it.
Radio's taking a hit as well over the, television. I think is taking a big hit nationally with the sports scene.
Local ESPN, how many they get rid of?
Oh, a lot.
2 rounds of cuts.
At least.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to in this day and age. And of course, if somebody's cutting, where do they cut? They look at the sports department. They always look at the sports department for some reason. Mm-hmm. And I wonder how many people tuned in or watch any content from the New York Daily News, and how much of that was actually people just watching and reading all their video and everything else with sports.
Yeah. And then you look at so many people that used to work in print
are gone now.
I mean,
or they're working their websites.
Tony Kornheiser. Michael Wilbon's one of the top voices when the NBA's on television. He's everywhere. No longer is he this. He's got a face. And when I was with you the other day in Ashland, I said, the written word is nice. Don't get me wrong. It'd be well for 40-plus years. But, dude, those gentlemen with that KSP radio, spoken word goes a long way. What a network they've got. And like you mentioned, they are loved. They are loved.
We're here today at the Union Pub and Grill. Every Monday, they've got a special you just cannot turn down. You can come in and get a $1.50 bottle or a $2 call shot, and they're going to be doing that all day and all night. They do it every Monday. So after work, this is a great place to come and unwind down, because the work week is so tough on Monday. Monday. Not the rest of the week. I can handle the rest of the week. It's Monday.
I can tell you would come in and go like, must be Monday.
It's Monday.
He's dragging. And you would have to go back, and you weren't done.
Oh, that's starting back up here soon.
You still had, what to go. So
that's coming up soon.
Okay.
Me and my monthly, weekly hangout with.
So pretty soon, but for now, once you finish today, I guess the equipment goes up, and you can let your hair down for a while.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm good. I'll be good. All right, quick timeout. We'll come back, and we'll get your phone calls in. We'll look at what happened over the weekend. The West Virginia Wildcats, they ran into a buzzsaw with Scarlet and Gray. That's an Ohio State University team. And the big one, the basketball tournament. You know what this thing is, the basketball tournament? Are you familiar with it, Dave?
I watched some of it.
You watched some of that?
What's his name, Jimmer Fredette? Team, was he one of them? They're in one of the sectionals. They're playing in Columbus.
They're playing some of it in Columbus, yeah.
They get after it.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
After it. One guy was shooting lights out, and he said he was 39 years. He's on Jimmer's team, 39 years old, and he was playing like he was 19.
We'll talk about that when we continue. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
On The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We've got this motorcade running today here at the Union Pub and Grill. $1.50. $1.50 for a bottle. $2 for call shots. Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with us. My entourage is back here, hanging out for a little while.
Slowly building up.
You're jonesing for some football, I can see. I understand that.
I was sitting there, you're talking about football.
Yes.
Think about this time last year, we're going, okay, Chase Litton is back. Who's he going to throw it to? Who's he going to hand it to? Who's going to block for him? Now this year, they know who they can throw it to. They know who they can hand it to. They know who's going to block, but who's going to be the one calling the shots?
Look at it this way.
The transfer, and I think it's going to work out. But it's crazy. What a difference. Defensively, they were wondering what's going to happen after they couldn't stop anybody. And then last year, they were never out of a game. Never out of a game.
Well, because you've got that offensive line coming back. You've got Tyler King coming back. You've got Will Ulmer coming back. Jordan Dowry's coming back. Levi Brown's back. Alex Millett's back.
I think Levi's on one of those lists, didn't he?
Levi is on the Remington Trophy list. You've got Tyree Brady on the Bolitnikoff Award list. You've got Levi on the Remington. You've got Malik on the Jim Thorpe Award. And, of course, as the Butkiss Award was announced today, Juwan Young is there. He's back. Athlon put Brady. They put Matt Beardall. They put him as well as Malik Gant and Chase Hancock on their Conference USA first team. They also put Ryan B. on their second team. Keon Davis made their second team. Chris Jackson made their second team as well. How about the Conference USA awards not having any place for Ryan B.? Was that criminal? That was criminal.
I'm sure that's on the wall, and I'm sure Ryan has taken that personally.
I would.
And when it's all said and done, he's going to go like that one commercial, how do you like me now?
But the big losses are really Chase Litton. I mean, you're losing Litton and you're losing Yurchek. You're losing Blake Keller. C.J. Rivas no longer there. Rodney Allen no longer there. Carvevic.
Kicking.
Yeah. Hailey Foster no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got so many guys coming back on defense. You've got so many guys coming back on offense.
Well, it's 18 between them? Something like that?
I haven't done the quick math here.
Like 9 and 9, and so Doc's going to he doesn't need to put, like the movie, he doesn't need to put tape on the helmets now. He knows who they are.
I'm going to say 18 or 19,
like
just by quick glancing at that.
Got to find a kicker.
Count. Yeah.
Because Vedvik was worth his weight in goal last year.
I'm not concerned that spot, though, because you can find a kicker.
They'll do it.
You can find a kicker.
The big question mark will be when they go to Oxford is the transfer, graduate transfer, how he steps in. Because big thing, he can't. Phil Simms is already, in love with him and everything. So you got to think, well, Phil was pretty good. And
Phil was decent.
So if he's getting recommendations by Phil, but expectations are high. But Doc's going to go that and a quarter, get you coffee. We got to do it. We got to get there and do it. And saw what they ran in the spring, and I'm envisioning with this guy on board, it's going to be fun to watch. I've got the. I know Doc doesn't like to get ahead of things.
No.
Okay, FAU, Marshall halftime, 48 halftime score.
Is that your prediction right now, 48-48?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to go up and down the field. He's got to find a quarterback, too, but he's got 2 transfers from D1 big-time programs that are going to step in, so down there at Lane Man. So something like that. I mean, that will be an interesting game. And NC State's going to be big. Ryan Finley, the quarterback, getting a lot of preseason accolades. So I'm sure the Marshall defense that day, especially the secondary, will be going like, okay, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got.
We're here at the Union Pub and Grill. Every Monday you can come join us here at the Union Pub and Grill. The Monday special, of course, to help you wind down after work, the $1.50 bottle and $2 call shots. And, of course, the way to find the place is just hop in the car and get down to 1125 4th Avenue, Huntington, Union Pub and Grill. So basketball's still a thing right now. Of course, Dan D'Antoni's getting the workout with his kids, getting them ready for this awful, dreadful trip he's got to take his team on.
Somebody's got.
How do we not get on that trip?
I don't know. But in watching him today doing the work, you think, this guy's 72 or 3 years old, and he's not acting his age on the floor. The way he gets out there and interacts. A couple times they came down the floor, and I don't think they were doing what he wanted them to do.
No,
quickly
imagine
stopped
that.
the action and says, gentlemen, we're not going to get past the first round if you don't play excited, if you don't get after it as soon as you start down the floor. If you don't, we're going to exit early again. So he's laying it down to him right now. It's like, okay, we made it. We won a game. That's not good enough. We want to win 2. We want to win 3. But if you play like this, we're not even going to get there to play 1.
He's getting a lot of added value in this trip.
And the schedule, we were talking. That's a big topic. Where they like the last 4 games is 1v2, whatever.
Yeah, you get the 5 games that they're going to have to play. It's a pod.
Yeah.
And so they'll be hopefully in that first group of 5.
Right.
That's where they want to be. So that means their seed will be no lower than 5. They can go anywhere from a 5 to a 1, however those games shake out those last few weeks. And it's very innovative from Conference USA. I don't know if it's ultimately going to help because you could be a team that has to play – you could be number 5 and play the best 4, and then you get pounded. Or you could be in the middle of the pack. You may lose some ground. Who knows? Yeah. But it's there to help with the RPI. But is the committee really going to go, oh, wow, hey, Marshall beat Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee at the last possible minute in this conference?
Normally you'd play them twice anyway, home and away.
You're going to play Western Kentucky 2 times. You're possibly going to see them 3 if they're in that upper echelon with you or if you're in whatever pod that they're in.
Whatever podcast.
So you could see Western Kentucky 4 times this year potentially.
And
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, they're
I'm down
trying
with that.
something, but we were talking about that today, and we've kicked around the idea. When it's all said and done, I think personally you could better win a certain game on a Saturday in March, or it's not going to happen. I hope this would be a one-bid league no longer, but after what happened in the middle last year, makes you wonder. And just juggling things around, they're trying, but are you going to take the 9th-place team out of the ACC or the runner-up in Conference USA?
You're going to take the 9th-place team.
I mean,
because for some reason,
like the ACC, you got to play your way out. It's like high school football and AAA playoffs. You got to play your way out of it to not get in. So
I would think that you would take the best teams available.
Right.
And you don't look at the conference affiliation.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that plays a factor.
Yeah, but I like the way Danny put it. He said, he blew guys. We don't get past the first round if you don't play excited, if you don't play with intensity. No lollygagging down the floor taking a blow. That's not going to cut it.
Well, they can't sit there and start believing the press.
No.
Because
they believe what we write and say.
Yeah, don't believe anything, you can believe what I say.
That's
but,
right.
Yeah,
that's gospel.
You can believe what I say.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You can believe that. So basketball is still in swing, and of course the basketball tournament is going on now. And unfortunately, West Virginia got knocked out.
That was fun to watch too.
Scarlet and Gray, the Ohio State squad.
Right. Of all things,
it was the Ohio State in Columbus.
Really? I mean, they had a chance.
Yeah. West Virginia won their first game, so they ended up 1-1. They weren't a one-and-done team here in this thing, but they lost 99-68. It's made up of former Marshall players, and there's some West Virginia state players as well in this.
Has the $2 million pot at the end of the rainbow.
This is the $2 million pot at the end of the rainbow. Ott Elmore was able to. Yeah, you have to lobby to get in here. For a lot of these spots, you got to lobby to get in here, or I think there's some way to pay to get in, but you had to lobby, and they got in.
Yeah, they got in. At least you get a chance. That's all you ask is a chance. They got it. Didn't work out, but I watched some of that, and I said, "You're watching guys that didn't we just watch them not that long ago?" I mean, a guy that's 39 years old playing like he's 19, but for $2 million. And little Ben Gay, let's go.
I just hated watching that game because some of these guys, you see Ryan Taylor just got pushed around. I didn't see Ryan Taylor get pushed around in a while. That
was hard.
That was hard to watch that.
It seems like a different level of play sometimes,
Well, some of these guys are former NBA players. And no offense to Ryan Taylor, but he never made it to that next level.
No.
And so you got guys who are just, playing formerly at that next level. They might not have lasted long in the NBA.
But they got a taste.
They got up there. They were NBA players for a while, so there are a different caliber of player.
Right.
And there are some players in here that are, done with their NBA career. They're just doing this for fun now.
Yeah, because you think back to when Marshall played West Virginia in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Elmore went in for the layup. They still talk about it. And I forget the player who pretty much laid him out under the basket, and there was no call. And everybody's up, and I'm going, welcome to the real world. This is the way it is here, folks. And you mentioned like that. Ryan Taylor getting usually the other way around, and then he's getting shoved around.
Yeah.
Bad. And it's just like that's a whole different level.
I mean, but in his defense, though, he's doing okay. He's playing in Iceland right now, so he was doing okay for this thing.
Making money.
Yeah.
And he's getting to do what he likes to do, play basketball.
That's
There's an
the thing.
avenue somewhere.
Yeah, that's
and
the
it'll be
thing.
interesting to see how Penema, when it's all said and done, where he winds up.
These guys are playing basketball now. Stevie Browning, who was on this thing, he's playing in Hungary. So these guys are playing. These guys are getting an opportunity to continue playing basketball. I hope that Peneva gets his dream of getting to play in the NBA.
Right.
But I think he would have been better served to stick around one more year.
That's one I'd hoped.
That's what.
Because the other two did.
Yeah, well, if anybody was ready to go, if all the three, I think Elmore was the most ready, and he decided, I'm staying. He made the right decision in my mind.
He's staying, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and CJ wasn't going as well. I think CJ's doing the same thing Elmore is doing. It's like go,
Test the
get
water.
evaluated,
Yeah,
see what you need to work out, with, play with some high-level talent, kind of get a feel for what you need to work on, come back.
Right.
And I think Elmore became a better player. I think CJ was going to become a better player.
It'll pay off this year.
I just hope those guys got bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
You saw them today. Did they look?
CJ looked. Elmore, I think, will never change. But CJ looked like he can still bomb it from outside. He'll be able to take you down low, and not if he gets pushed, push back. So and the one I really liked was Iran, the big guy inside. Iran Bennett. I was just thinking. He's still tipping the scales a little too heavily, but they're working on that. But I just think like him and John worked a couple pick and rolls, and I swear, Paul, when I left, the rim was still shaking on that. And Danny was, if it wasn't done exactly right, toot the whistle and ran this way. John's fifth year, but he's not above getting yelled at. Danny, if it's not done the right way, Danny will let you know regardless of who you are, first through 15.
He's the type of guy that you love playing for him.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Yeah.
not to mess up.
But everything is done in such a constructive purpose. He's not in your face, tearing you down. It's just like when he gets done with you, you'll get the message. But you know what? From that point on, you'll be better. You will be better. Or somebody will take your place.
So what do you think? People are more excited for basketball or football?
I think there's a buzz in football right now. It's hard to think basketball right now with the time and everything. There will be a buzz, and it's amazing how many people were there today. But I think the buzz in football, because of the watch list and all these people on the watch list and things of that nature, and Miami, the first game, we can relive that one again and things of that nature. And if the quarterback pans out, it could be some points on the board, and then the defense, a different guy calling the shots, the coordinator, but the same people. And I think they know they've got to keep it up. They just can't live off what happened last year. They've got to take it another step.
We're here at the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. We're going to wrap it up when we continue. Quick timeout, come back, and we'll call this show a complete show when we continue here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Some of the best times
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Time to wrap this one up. We're here at the Union Pub and Grill every Monday at 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. This place was hopping over the weekend. They were watching the basketball tournament. They were watching, of course, some golf action over the weekend.
Since it started at 1:30 in the morning.
I watched the final day. I watched a little bit of that. Well, Tiger was
there
there.
was Tiger, and it was like in one swing you could go from first to fifth.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. And say what you want to.
Ratings
Tiger,
are up.
Tiger drives the market.
Ratings
Tiger
are up.
Exactly.
People tuned in for that. They wanted to see Tiger.
Yeah, and he was next to, two groups from the end, so it's not like he got done 3 hours ahead of everybody else and you could change the channel. No. And then, 8 holes to go, he's leading.
Yeah, he was close for a while.
They had the buzz, and then he blazed one over the
But he bogeyed
green.
what? How many times? Twice.
But he hit that flower out of the rough, went over the green, hit the guy, and gave him his glove. Pretty nice gesture like that. But no, he drives ratings when he's there. people are watching. And if he's a factor, it makes it even better.
There was some jerk cheering during his swing in the 18th.
But he handled, I think in years past he might have gone after the guy, but he kind of sets it. But it ends up the drive is perfect. But no, that was and they were trying to, and then I was reading a story about when Xander Schauffele was trying to chip on 17, he missed the green, and the baby and his mom in the background making the noise, and they showed her, and she's like, she might want to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's trying. He actually backed off one time because the little girl let out a couple of screams.
I understand.
Joked, but
I understand you want to bring your child to the course, but don't.
But he even backed off and laughed a little bit. But at the same time, I was thinking somebody's going to say something about that one.
And thanks to golf, I stayed and tuned into the Rugby Sevens
You
World
said that
Cup.
was good. You enjoyed that.
I am now a full-fledged. I'm sold, man. Because this was high-level rugby that was being played. This was really good rugby. United States finished 6th. They lost the 5th-place game. New Zealand, the All
Who's the
Black.
power? What country's the power?
New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Fiji. England was there. England's good.
Fiji?
Fiji.
Whoa. Okay.
Fiji. Oh, they were some big boys. I'm upset that I don't see more rugby coverage on SportsCenter. Oh, New Zealand's really good.
Yeah.
Their women and their men won the cup. Good stuff. For Dave Walsh, I'm Paul Swann. This has been The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Good night.
WBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Huntington Sports Station.